So, Mr. Garcia, we are the Applied Linguistics Consultant team, Sara, Heily, Simone, and Sofia. Thank you for inviting us to analyze your class and give some recommendations. Today, we will present three main problems we observed, and then we will offer three practical solutions. Finally, we will explain why these solutions are supported by theory and research.
The first problem we noticed is participation in your class. Only a few students speak a lot and dominate the group activities. The majority of the students remain silent. They look nervous, they avoid eye contact, and they prefer not to participate. This situation can be explained with the affective filter hypothesis when students feel anxious, shy, or afraid of making mistakes. Their affective filter goes up and they stop producing language. Also, according to face theory in pragmatics, students are afraid of losing face. In other words, they prefer to stay quiet instead of making a mistake in front of others. This is why most of them avoid speaking.
Now, the second problem that we observe is fossilization. This happens when a student keeps repeating the same error even after receiving correction. In your class, Daniel is very confident and speaks fluently, but he always makes the same mistake with the third person singular. For example, he says, "She don't like football," or "My father worked in a factory," even though you have corrected him many times, and he continues speaking in this way. This shows that the error has become fossilized in his interlanguage, which means it's now very hard to change. The situation becomes more serious because Daniel is very popular in the class, so many students admire him and copy his style. In second language acquisition, this is called peer input and modeling. Students imitate the language of their peers, especially when those peers are confident and have a strong influence. So the problem is not only Daniel's error. The risk is that his classmates also start repeating the same incorrect form. This creates a chain of fossilized mistakes in the group. If we don't address this problem, the incorrect structure may spread and students will learn a version of English that is less accurate.
The third problem is related to the textbook. Many activities are not connected to the students' reality. For example, one activity asks them to plan a dream vacation in New York City, but the students don't have the background knowledge and they don't know the specific vocabulary like subway or landmark. Now, according to post-method pedagogy, especially the principles of particularity and practicality, activities must be adapted to the context of the learners. If the tasks are not authentic or connected to their lives, students lose motivation. And that is exactly what happened in this activity. Students stay silent and some even got distracted with their phones.
Now we want to share 3 recommendations that can help solve these problems in a practical way. Recommendation 1. Increase participation. You can give students specific roles during group work, such as time manager, note taker, or presenter. Also provide sentences starts like "I think," "in my opinion," or "what about." This scaffolding reduces anxiety and helps everyone participate, not only the superstar students. Then the recommendation 2. Address fossilization. To help Daniel and the other students, you can use collaborative activities like an error hunt, for example, show them a short dialogue with common mistakes, and ask them to find and correct the errors together. This way, students notice the error in context and Daniel receives feedback without feeling attacked. It also empowers other students to be active participants in correction. We will continue with the recommendation 3. Adapt the textbook to the students' lives. Instead of using activities about New York or other distant contexts, adapt the same task to local realities. For example, plan a weekend in Medellin or organize a school trip in Colombia. Students know these places and experiences, so they feel more motivated. The structure and language practice stay the same, but the content becomes more meaningful and authentic. These recommendations work because they are supported by research. Lowering the affective filter and respecting face encourage participation. Activities focused on fossilization and peer correction help students produce more accurate language, and adapting lessons to the post-method principles of particularity and practicality makes learning authentic and motivating. In this way, Mr. Garcia, you can continue with your communicative teaching style while also supporting all your students. Thank you for your attention.